An enthusiastic and innocent teacher, Erin Gruwell, arrives at a high school in Long Beach just after the LA uprising in 1992, aiming to follow in her civil rights activist father's footsteps. Without having any idea of what she's about to face. She's about to face a bunch of at-risk students of color. The Freedom Riders. Movies like this can change our society for better if we all embrace the lesson it portrays. Erin came into a class's room crammed with Black, Latino and Asian high school freshmen, as the makings of another grown who doesn't believe in themselves and what the society had for them because their experience. Erin's first few days at school are daunting. The students are understandably skeptical, excruciatingly contemptuous. From where they sit, slumped and hunched, some with their backs literally turned away from the front of the room, Erin looks like the stranger she is. She's an interloper, a do-gooder, a visitor from another planet called Newport Beach, and the class sees through her as if she were glass. She witnesses a fight, sees a boy pull out a gun, and endures taunts from her students, who see themselves as their other teachers see them, the ghetto-ass class unworthy of attention or time. Erin is also discouraged by her cynical colleagues, but she persists, seeking ways to connect with her students. Finally, one of them, distrustful Eva, explains her rage, how white people running this world, she says. I saw white cops shoot my friend in the back for reaching into his pocket. They can because they're white. I hate white people on sight. They all hated and disrespect Erin from the beginning, not because of her character but because of how the society had treated them all. They believe they are in the word that hated them, and they thought the world would have been better for them if the white race isn't existing. No one would have thought that Eva, of all the student, which was the focus to some extent, could by any way like Erin, but at the end all the student open doors for her and call her ma'am with respect and love. Erin realizes that since her students self-segregate by race, they never learn one another's stories. Erin's goal was to see this student learn and become great, not her husband could stand in her way because Erin was so worried and focused on making a change in there and planned to single-handedly helping the kids out of the ghetto. So, she has them stand together in the classroom when they shared an experience, like losing a friend to violence. They begin to recognize their similarities. As the students write about their lives in a war zone, Erin also has them visit LA's Holocaust Museum and read in Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl. Moved by Frank's story, the kids raise money to bring Meet Geese, the woman who hid Frank from the Nazis, to campus. Freedom Riders isn't only about an amazingly dedicated young teacher who took on 2 extra jobs to buy supplies for her students. It's also, emphatically, about some extraordinary young people of race struggling with their life in our society. Erin and her increasingly troubled relationship with her husband, Scott, and there's a really lovely scene between the two that finds them talking ruefully over a bottle of wine about the divide between fantasy and reality in marriage, a divide one partner tries to bridge and the other walks away from. While we keep time with Erin, we also listen to the teenagers, several of whom tell their stories in voiceover. Among the most important of those stories is that of Eva, the newcomer, whose voice is among the first we hear in the movies. Through quick flashbacks and snapshot scenes of the present, Eva's young life unfolds with crushing predictability. From her front steps, this 9-year-old watches as her cousin is gunned down in a drive-by shooting. Later her father is arrested. She's initiated into a gang. One day, while walking with a friend under the glorious California sun, a couple of guys pull up in a car and start firing in their direction. Eva dodges bullets and embraces violence because she knows nothing else. She hates everyone, including her white teacher, because no one has ever given her a reason not to. In time Eva stops hating Erin, though the bullets keep coming. It's a hard journey for both women, one that includes other students, most of whom are played by actors who look too old for their roles and are nonetheless very affecting. None of these actors are outstanding, but 2 are memorable: the singer Mario, who plays an angry drug dealer, Andre, and another newcomer, Jason Finn, whose big, soft, moon face swells with fury and vulnerability as a homeless teenager named Marcus. Erin managed to change all her students and also managed to charm them, as we hear one the student call her ma during an argument of not letting her go for another teacher to teach them, as she is new and not yet qualified to continue with them, and she replies she's Erin replied and said to them that she is not anyone's mom in the class, but they all surprise Erin by telling her that calling her mom means that they respect her, not that she's necessary her mom, and that they don't want her to go because her already in love with her as they're teaching and all she has done for them. But Erin convinced them to keep pushing no matter what, in making them to understand that they are the ones that make the changes, not her, so whoever come to teaches them, even not her. They should always keep going and be themselves. They were all quiet but still not happy, but had no choice than to listen to Erin. They were all ready to fight to keep Erin as their teacher, as other senior collector fighting to take over, as they believe that Erin is new and has no experience yet. The student were all set to reject whoever teacher that will take them, as they all want Erin and so much respect her because she gave them home. But final, after a meeting with the board, they agreed that Erin will continue with the junior and senior together. But when Erin came back, they all gathered to hear from her the conclusions. Erin teased them at first, they were all not happy, but as soon as Erin gave them the news, they all jump and hug her and were very happy to have her continue the class with them. Final summary. This deeply earnest drama follows a familiar storyline. An idealistic young teacher inspires her at-risk urban students to respect each other and themselves. She's white, they're mostly of color, she's clueless about their harsh lives, they initially resent her cluelessness but learn to appreciate her efforts to understand them. It's this last part that makes director Richard LaGravenese film work, despite its many cliches. Erin Gruwell, Hilary Swank, makes a difference by asking her students to talk to her and each other and acting on what they say. The plot is predictable, the actors too old to play high school students, and the pacing too slow. And really, the camera circles around deep thinking faces a few too many times. But Freedom Writers also argues for listening to teenagers. That in itself makes it a rare and close to wonderful thing. My advice and question to all families watching this. 1. Talk to your kids about their life, their daily activities, encourage them, make them feel belong to the society. Teach them to stand for the truth and the right thing at all cost. They owe it themselves, but to no one. Questions. Families can talk about the way that Erin engages her students by listening to them. How is this an effective way to teach? How do the students learn from one another when they share their stories? How is this movie an example of the white savior narrative? What are some other examples of movies in which people of color struggle to find their way in the world until a white protagonist comes along and finds their true calling in life by saving the people of color from their circumstances? This is a movie based on a true story. What aspects of the story do you think actually happened, and what aspects do you think were heightened or exaggerated for the sake of creating more drama and conflict in the movie? If you have any question, suggestion or contribution, put it on the comments section below. We will get back to you as soon as we get your message. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe. God bless.